Are you looking to create a pivot table in Google Sheets? Are you not sure of where to start? Or maybe you've tried setting one up and it's not come out as you would have hoped. Well, either way, you've come to the right place, because today I'm going to be walking you through this useful analytical tool and how you can get a pivot table set up relatively quickly and manipulate it to show your data in any way that you're going to need it. So first and foremost, I just want to say that I've created a dummy sheet with, as you'll see, some dummy data. It doesn't really make much sense when you start looking at it, but it does serve a purpose, and we will be using it to create a pivot table. So first and foremost, make sure you've got your data in a new sheet. Obviously, I've called it this for the title of the video. But yeah, you need to have this in place first, and I would recommend differentiating the column headers. Just makes it more kind of visible and easier to see. So get your data set up. Then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to the insert option on the ribbon at the top, and if you look about halfway down, you will see the option for pivot table. Now, before you do that, I would actually recommend that you highlight your table area, and I'll explain why this is the case in a moment. So I've left clicked on the mouse on A1 and I've dragged down to E30 to select the whole table. Then I'm going to press insert, and then I'm going to press pivot table. And you'll see in the data range, this is referencing the sheet, and this is the reference range I just referred to. Now, you have an option when you're creating a pivot table. You can either create it in the same sheet, and you could put it, to the right here, or you could, or I should say existing sheet, or you can add it to a new sheet. And I always like to add it to a new sheet just to keep it separated. It's a little bit easier on the eye, and yeah, that's what we're going to do for this demo. So click create, and you'll see that it's created a new tab. So you can call that whatever you like. Let's just call this car pivot table, just as an example. Just double click in there and you can kind of rename it. So you'll be greeted with this kind of view, and it's the kind of pivot table builder, and you'll see that nothing's kind of in there at the moment. If you kind of click off of this, if you click anywhere in the sheet, you'll notice this right hand panel has disappeared. So if you need to get back to that at any point, click within the pivot table and it will reappear. And this is the editor, and this is what we're going to use to build the pivot table. Now, you'll see on the right hand side a suggested section. Now, these are just some of the recommendations that Google are going to put forward to you, and they're just kind of the algorithms are going to look to see, they're going to give you some suggestions of what they think you might want to use and what to analyze. So you can use these, but you don't need to. On the right hand side, you're going to find all of those columns within your data sheet that you've kind of referenced, and that's why I recommended kind of selecting all of the data first. If you were to select the entire sheet, so if you did the kind of that thing that left click here and then insert pivot table, you'll find a load of other columns down here, and it just gets a little bit complicated and confusing. So that's why I suggested you select the whole reference table exactly, because then you get the all of the columns here. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to build out these 4 different steps. Well, the fourth one is optional, but the first three are kind of mandatory. And you basically just go through them. So it depends what you want to analyze. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples on my data and show you how you can kind of manipulate it. But really, you need to ask yourself, what are you looking to show, and how do you want to refine your data? And that's really what a pivot table enables you to do. So for rows, I want to look at the different makes. So you could either click the add button, left click, and it's going to give you all the options. Or you can kind of go on this right hand side, left click, and drag down into the section. So I've dragged make down to the left hand side, and you'll see that it's pulled all the different makes of cars that are in this data sheet. We've got Ford, Honda, Toyota, and Vauxhall. Next, another thing you can do is you can actually add another column another row to your pivot table. The reason I said column is because it's another column in the data sheet. But let's say we want the model as well. Now left click and drag. Now if you drag it to the green section, that's going to kind of mess it up. What you want to do is put it underneath, and that's therefore going to show you the relationship between the makes and the models. So for instance, Fiesta, a Fusion, and a KA are all part of the Ford make. So if I was to go into here and I was to filter And I'll just go on Ford. You may know your cars already. I'm just showing you this as an example. These are the only models that fit within Ford. So, your Civic, Yaris, they only align to Honda. So it just breaks it out basically. But the reason I'm just showing you that is the relationship between the data. So that's why these kind of models fit within those makes. It will make sense for most of you if you know your cars. But what I'm just trying to illustrate here is that there is a relationship between the data. So we can show the totals, and I would recommend doing that, or you can take them off by simply left clicking, right clicking. And when it says repeat row labels, what that essentially does is you'll see that enables you to have a label for each row. If you take it off, it's going to remove it. I think visually it looks better without it, so I'll leave that off for now. It gives you the option of changing the order, so you can have ascending or descending. That's going to be alphabetical order, and the sort is another option you can do as well. We're not going to do that for now. So these are the two things we're looking at, the make and the model. Now, another thing you could do is you could put the model in the column section. So that's just obviously a different view. We've got the make and the model kind of side by side. In this instance, I'd probably like it like this, but we could put it in the column as well. We could also add other data as well. So we could look for all of the colors, and you can just really build it out. So we could really look at, you could look at the makes, the models, and the colors. So if we added, the next thing you need to do is add the value. Now I would do that on, in this data set, I could actually do it on anything. Let's remove this, purely because, I should remove that. Because we've got 30 rows of data, or it's actually 29, it will work in anything I do. So I'm actually going to put make in the values, and you'll see when I do that, it's given us a count. So basically what this is saying is I have one Ford Fiesta in black, two Ford Fiestas in green. If I were then to remove the color, and to remove something, you can click this X button next to it. This is basically saying we've got 3 Fiestas, 2 Fusions, etc. We've got 8 Fords in total. Got 4 Hondas, 3 Yaris, etc. 29 cars in total. If I was to remove that, then we're not going to see that total. And again, if you didn't want it against the models, you would remove that as well. So that really is a quick overview of how it can work. By default, you've got the count, but you can also change it as a percentage. So here we can see, if I change it to percentage, we can see that 10% of the cars in here are the Ford Fiesta, or 10% are KA. The most we've got is 24%, and that's the Toyota Aygo. So basically, 1 in every four cars here is a Aygo, just based on that kind of analysis. So that's really how it kind of works. I'm going to remove this off. Actually, no, I didn't want to move that off. I'm actually just going to put that as a row. We'll put the model in here as a column, so you can see the alternate view. And I'm going to put that as a default. And you've got various options. This is a count. You can do a sum. You can do a max, a min. You got all of these different options. Let's put this as, we don't want that as a sum. We'll put that as a count. We want that as a count in this kind of example. I've probably messed that up, so I'm actually just going to take that off and drag it back into values. So we've got this view here. Now, one other thing you can do is you can also add filters. So let's say, for instance, we only want to see, so if I had the make here, we only want to see Fords. If I press OK, you'll notice it filters out all of the other options. If you want to see Toyota as well, just make sure that's selected, hit OK, and it's just filtering out. So that's another option. It's like a filter in the data set. You can do that in the pivot table as well. Remove that out, and you should have everything kind of come back towards you. So I've showed you the different makes and models we've got, but if you put kind of price into the values, you can see what the total price is for all of the different cars. And if I whack out the model here, you can see a sum of all of the different makes. So for instance, let's say I'm a car dealership in this example. I know that I've got $36,000 worth of Fords in my garage, or I've got 33,600 of Vauxhall. Now this is all dummy data, so it doesn't really make much sense, but you can see how, and then if I change this to percentage, you can see how you can manipulate the data to how you need it. So really, a pivot table is entirely dependent on the data set that you have, making sure that's accurate, making sure it's filled out, and also adding things like the formatting. So I added dollars here, so I did that at the top from the toolbar, and that's given us that benefit of when I do bring it into to the pivot table, we've got the dollars as well. So that's another kind of tip that I would give you. But really, that's how to build a pivot table. It's all about really going through this process of adding the rows and the columns and the values, and then any necessary filters. If you get completely lost, press the X's, get rid of it, and you've got a kind of blank slate here, and you can kind of go again. And you can add, you can look at it in so many different ways, and basically edit and manipulate to interpret the data however you need it. So really, that's how to create a pivot table in Google Sheets. I hope this video was useful. If it was, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue making videos like this. And do consider subscribing to my channel as well. I'm going to have a lot of videos on Google Sheets and using it for project management and just other use cases as well. So if you're using Google Sheets a lot, you may want to check out my channel and subscribing. So with all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.